Yo, 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 what's up, what's up? It's AJ with Hippie Fertilizing on the More Than Grass podcast. Today is another very exciting day. I have Justin from Grill Pond Gardens out here with me. We're going to jump into how he got started, what he does, and just add to our experience because Justin here from Grill Pond Gardens also has a huge emphasis on organics, natural lawn care, organic fertilizing, organic landscaping, things of that nature, right? To try and help everyone kind of move away from the whole treat and defeat mentality. Mm-hmm. So, Justin, what's up, dude? Good morning.
Good morning. You know, I'm so happy and excited to be here this morning. I've been watching these podcasts for a while now, and I was like, man, when's he going to call me? It's time.
Yeah. So I did. Thank you for being here. Justin, how long have you been in the landscape industry? Go deep, man.
Man, let's see. Does a stroller count?
I mean, probably like as a seed.
Oh, man.
Before germination?
Lord. Yeah, I mean, my family's been in this industry my whole life. And, our parent company, Lens Landscaping, was started by my grandfather back in 1951. 1951.
Woo.
Crazy. What's crazy is we have some old photography of the area when it was first getting going. It's wild, man. There were no trees out here.
No?
It's so weird. You think
so it was
historic
like a prairie.
We were a prairie.
Okay.
All these trees, this is all because of people living here.
Yeah.
This was not the way the only trees that existed in this area were along the rivers.
So in essence, it's almost like we've created urban forestry.
We have 100% created an urban forestry. All those oaks along Main Street, those are all here because of people.
And so, little tidbit for those watching out of the area, when he says Main Street, we live in League City, Texas. We have an area called Old League City that is covered by these gigantic, 100-plus-year-old oaks?
Oh, yeah. They're, I think they're Butler oaks is how they're branded. I don't know if it's an actual subspecies or anything, but they're just Butler family oaks.
Mm-hmm. They're huge.
They're huge.
They're beautiful, but apparently they were not here.
No. I mean, it's especially we've got imagery of ourselves, but you can even go back and look at historical aerial photography, and the only trees that exist anywhere in this area are along the bayous. That's it.
Oh,
this is all open grass prairie land.
Yeah. And so, we said you're born into it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? How old were you when you really started getting your hands dirty, let's say working for your grandfather and for your father?
So, I mean, I guess you'd say my first kind of really bout into it was during the summers out of school. I would go ride with my dad or my gramps, and we'd go to jobs, and I don't know how actually helpful I was at that age, but
you were a little kid then, huh?
I was a little kid,
okay.
But I was having fun.
Yeah.
I'd use the shovel and do whatever the other guys were doing, but I really got into the business out of high school. Went and got professional degrees or certificates for what we do now. So I'm a licensed irrigator, licensed backflow inspector, and then that segued into the garden center, and it just kind of all tumbleweeded to today.
Yeah. So, and I'm just, because I don't know exactly, what is that, 15 years now, 17 years in the industry, really working?
Jeez, has it been that long?
I mean, dude, I've been doing it for 14 years.
Yeah, I guess so.
Now, and I think you got a couple years on me.
It flies by. I feel I don't know, there's sometimes I look at them I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just I know all this information, but I'm still kind of flying by the seat of my pants. But then I look back at it, and when you talk to people, they're oh, you actually know what you're talking about.
I feel the same way often, right? Because we always come up with new problems,
yeah,
right? Or maybe it's an old problem, but it's the first time we're being faced with it,
yeah,
right? And then, of course, I know our industry has, to a large degree, changed
Oh,
over the years.
so much so. I mean, just think about like old. I want to say old timers. I don't know how to describe it, but old timers.
Let's just say it. The freaking old timers, man.
You know, they just lived and breathed the chemical fertilizers, right? That's all they knew. And you know, nothing bad against them. They were sold it,
that's
right?
What they were told and sold.
That's what they were told and sold. You're right. Like,
yeah.
And now we have all this new information. We know so much more about how the ecology of the soil works. Like, there's so much more going on. Like, it's not just spray chemical fertilizers out there and walk away anymore.
Right. Like I said earlier about getting away from the treat and defeat mentality.
Yeah.
So much more than that.
Yeah.
And from the time you got started really in the industry, like, is that kind of what you were brought into? Is the chemical treat and defeat? Like, I know you were exposed to it from your upbringing.
Yeah.
But was there a transition already happening or no?
So, yeah. So, like, when I got really involved, it was still predominantly chemical approach to things. And even 15 years ago, like, when you look at 15 years ago to today and how much the organic movement has progressed, it's
huge.
Night and day. I mean, it's really not even close. But I mean, my big thing was when my first professional license that I got was my irrigation license, right? To become a licensed irrigator. And I had always been like I guess you'd say like a borderline hippie. Like, I've always been like very aware of my environment around me.
Wait. Like they always tell me, you're not old enough to be a hippie.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think it is? I've talked this, excuse me, with Kayla a few times, and I don't think she ever watched this show as a kid, but I think that part of this is growing up. I used to always watch a show called Captain Planet.
Oh, I've seen that show, yeah.
And I think Captain Planet, for, you know, it's whatever shortcomings where it got it canceled or whatever, but
that's because the information was too real.
Exactly. You know, I feel like Captain Planet, at least in my mind, really helped to solidify a focus on the environment around me.
Yeah.
And like, not just this, you know, spray and forget mentality and not be concerned about what's washing down into our drainage systems. It's going down to the bay. Like, everything goes somewhere. We need to be mindful of where it's going.
Right. There's this book that I really love called For the Love of Soil. And she describes something like that. She's like, yeah, for a lot of people, there's always this magical place called over there.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, where, you know, you throw away your trash, you pour something out. Where does it go? Over there.
Yeah.
Where I don't have to look
over
at
there
it.
Has a name, and it's somewhere.
Right. Whether it's the ocean, Clear Creek.
Yeah.
All these lakes that are around our new subdivisions and developments.
Well, I can tell you, like, there's a bunch of things in our environment that are like the canary in a coal mine type of piece of the ecosystem. And like, for example, when I was a kid, I remember there were little mounds of crawdad piles, the little chimney piles that they make, the little crawdads.
Yeah.
As a kid, I remember they were everywhere. Have you seen any lately?
I have, but not nearly as numerous as when I was a kid, because we're like the same age.
Right. Why did they all disappear? Why are there so few now, and there used to be them everywhere?
Well, and another thing that is very similar to that is lightning bugs.
Oh, yeah, lightning bugs.
Super sensitive to chemicals and changes in the ground. So fortunately, I was pretty happy. There's a place over in Seabrook, Texas. Go walking. I have seen them at night. And over by the train tracks, again in Old Lake City, girl I used to date, in her backyard and around that house, close to Clear Creek over here,
right?
You would see them. So that was kind of hopeful. But you go over to neighborhoods, any neighborhood.
Oh, it's like sterile environment.
Right.
There's nothing living, nothing growing.
No crawdads.
No
lightning bugs. And so that's kind of interesting. Would you call it the canary in a coal mine?
Yeah, because, you know, coal miners, it used to be they would carry a canary with them down the coal mine. And if the canary all of a sudden stopped and it like died, they're very susceptible to low oxygen in their environment, and so the coal miners should know that they need to get the heck out of there.
I think that's super fascinating because our area, we have certain things like crawdads. I'm sure up north,
Yeah.
they might not. All right, I'm not super familiar with all that, but I would say that every area has its own like microclimate,
Yeah.
kind of thing, and ecosystem, and bugs and birds and what have you. So I would want to ask you, watching, what are things that you could look for that is your own canary in the coal mine in your area, right?
Absolutely.
Because what it's going to be for someone, say, in Nebraska, is not going to be what it's down here for us in the armpit of hell, Gulf Coast of Texas.
Oh, you know, I have always operated under that exact mentality, and I still do, but I have a new appreciation for how good we have it here. I recently was in Las Vegas on a layover flight. Oh my God, is it hot there? Like, it was 120 degrees, and these people live there intentionally. I'm just like, we got it so good. We got it. I'll take 100% humidity. No
With
problem.
100 degrees and not
With 100 degrees.
120?
I can't do 120, man.
Yeah.
I don't know how these people live there.
Yeah. So going back to you being in the industry for so long, grew up in it, started basically, like you said, straight out of high school, right?
Yeah.
How long have you had Grippon Gardens?
So Grippon Gardens started in 2018.
Yeah.
So our family has operated a garden center on the property for basically since the inception, right?
I worked there for like 2 weeks when I was a teenager.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I must have forgotten this piece of information.
Maybe so, but
That's crazy.
so it's 6 years old. Grippon
Yeah.
Gardens is.
Yeah. So we're not super young. Like, we've been around a little while, but
Yeah.
don't let the number of years that Grippon Gardens has been in operation deter you, because our family has been doing this since forever.
For more than half a century.
Yeah.
That's incredible. It's incredible to have that going and going so strong, because me being in the industry for 14 plus years, like I said, I worked for a couple weeks at the nursery when I was a teenager.
That's freaking awesome, man.
Yeah, it was in the winter too, man. I was out in one of those like greenhouses, like clipping plants or something.
Yeah.
They were just trying to find something for me to do.
Oh yeah, wintertime is slow in the garden center.
Yeah.
It's the busy project season.
Yeah, and y'all have always been very predominant in the area, right? So the fact that I've gotten to get to know you better, and like your father, and the whole like lens, everything has brought a lot of value to myself too. Listening to your dad a long time ago, like, hey, this is how this works. This is how this works. I'm like, huh? And me being the way I am,
He's such a wealth of knowledge.
he is, but I love to challenge everything,
Oh yeah,
right? So
we should challenge everything.
yeah, and
Understanding the why is half the battle. Like, don't just, we should take advice from people who have been, through the ringer before, but like, we should understand why they do things, and like, question, is that still the best way to do the thing?
Right. And it's really cool to be able to drive around and see y'all working on stuff. Sometimes hop out the truck. Hey, what's up, man? What
Yeah.
are y'all doing over here? Right?
We're making the Bay Area beautiful, one
Yes.
yard at a time.
Yes. And trying to promote things that promote soil biology
Yes,
in the essence of it. Right?
absolutely. And when you're talking about what is your canary in a coal mine, I think that applies so beautifully to how we look at people's yards and diagnosing what's going on with them. Because I know me and you can look at a yard and we can pick up things like, all right, if I see this, I know that you've got some problems going on, right? And we can see those kind of like yard equivalent of canary in a coal mines, right? Like, if you've got brown patch, well, there's a reason you've got brown patch, right? It's because it's a symptom of a bigger problem. If you've got chinch bugs, like, just because you've got these things doesn't mean you just go and try to kill that thing. Like, all right, well, why did you get here? Why is this a problem?
What I see all the time, and I want to bring it up all the time, because as you know, running your garden center, I'm sure you get the same questions, right? Especially in March, when to me it's like Black Friday,
Yeah.
for like a few months, right? When it comes to lawn care and landscaping,
It's exciting.
yeah,
It's so exciting.
putting it lightly.
Yeah.
How do you kill the weeds? Or how do you do this? Or how do you do that? And people ask the wrong questions, in my opinion,
Yeah.
right? And, I go over to people's